Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up. Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that bills Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those silly governments are getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablias asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Stop Knuckle Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing, mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. A German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man, too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor, but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible and converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching, quote, I was a follower of the sword, now I'm a follower of the cross. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond companies. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 15, 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether it's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. one, that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Well, boy, do we got a lot on the docket today. Let's get going. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Just a guy in his basement talking about what's going on in the world. And that's what we do here every day, talk about what's going on in the world. And sometimes we laugh and cry and hurl, So, hi, good morning. It is, what's today, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday the 3rd of February, 2026. My anniversary, me and Lady Boomer's anniversaries this month, later in the month. I haven't quite decided what we're going to do. We're kind of broke. We just spent $3,000 on a water heater and $2,000 on a new refrigerator. So maybe we won't be doing anything this year. Who knows? So anyway, hi, how y'all doing? It's happy Tuesday. Let's get it going because I got so much. I have so many things open and I'm not going to get to half of them. But I do strongly encourage that you do read deeper in some of the articles that I'm going to present. I'm pretty much going to go through some headlines mostly. And then a few feature stories like I always do. And you know what I do here. So, but I always have a lot more stuff that's great that you probably want to hear about. And so I highly encourage you to do that after the show if you have some time. Just do a little light reading. You know what I'm saying? Do a little light reading. Anyway, first the chat today, Mr. the Pope Tyrannus III. Whoops. Yeah, the Blessed Lich gets the bell. And there's a message of hope there somewhere. I think. I don't see it. I don't know what the hell happened to it. Or did you already do it? I don't know. I was going to do the message of hope, but then I realized I'm just hitting the message of hope music and not the good morning Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich. But anyway, also good morning, Maddie's in the house and early too. How you doing, Maddie? Green Badger Outdoors, Kara Soldier, Mike Savage, Blarg, Aaron Meredith's in the house, Avocados Diabli. Also, tall person, ahoy to you too. Let's see. There's Blue-Eyed Scream. I got a non 1, 2, 3. Somnambul Nation, what's up? Good morning also too. Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadian. Good morning. Unholy Queen, that's my little young friend Midnight. And that's everybody so far. So, people will stroll in, roll in, whatever. Are we shiny? Okay, that's not okay. Maybe I'm just missing it somewhere. Okay. Anyway, hi. What if I try and read a light, I will go blind. What are we talking about here? I'm trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about in the chat. Anyway. Let's go ahead and see what we have to celebrate today and thank the people sharing the stream and all that stuff. So let's start with the celebrations today. I'm going to go a little out of order today because I'm out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. Today's National Golden Retriever Day. Yeah, I love me some dogs. Here, let's make this so you can see it a little better. The whole screen, because otherwise you won't be seeing Elmo over there. There we go. There we go. National Golden Retriever Day. If you have a Golden Retriever, or if you know one has someone as a Golden Retriever, go say Happy National Golden Retriever Day. Our very good friend has a not a miniature. Well, is it a miniature Golden Retriever? It's a small Golden Retriever. Like no Golden Retrievers are maybe 50 pounds taller dogs, and this one's a short Golden Retriever. Beautiful dog. I love Golden Retrievers. I'm personally kind of a lab guy. But they're close, in stature. Good morning, Liberty Vet, by the way. Seagull Gunner is also here. How you doing? And it's also Doggy Date Night. Now, I am a little concerned about that one. It's a little weird. Bring your pup to a doggy date night for an evening of fun. Enjoy activities, delicious snacks, and meet other furry friends. Yeah, that's concerning. It just sounds weird. It's also Elmo's birthday. Oh my God. Happy birthday, Elmo. I would do my Elmo voice, but I can't do it anymore because my voice I'm old and my voice gets deeper and deeper as I get older and older. National Carrot Cake Day. I love me some carrot cake. I know some people don't like carrot cake. I love carrot cake. I think it's delicious, especially for really good cream cheese frosting on it. It's that thing. Oh, you had a black lab and a corgi. Yeah, tell me what kind of dogs you have. We had our first dog as a family was a yellow lab. It was Buck. What a great little dog. Or no, not good little dog. He's pretty big actually. And then we had Lucky, which she's kind of a shepherd terrier mix. She was like had some shepherd features, but was really schizophrenic, kind of jumpy and yippy and whatever. And then we have our current dog, Clifford, who's a lovely dog. He's a German Shepherd Rottweiler mix, but he has the temperament of a yellow lab. He's just the most calm, kid-friendly dog you'd ever meet. And our dog is great. He's getting up there though. He's I think around 11, 12 years old. So he's lived a long, happy life. But he was a rescue dog. We found him. Well, we didn't find him. Some people found him. He was visiting this gas station. The guys at the gas station would feed him because they knew he was kind of a stray. And so finally someone, they rescued him, and then we got him from them. And he's been with us about 8 years now. And he's a great dog. Love him. Great dog. So anyway, ancient like you in your, in my years, sure. 12 is like 140. No, 12 is like 84. He's an old, isn't it 12 times, or 7 times whatever years, so 7 times 12 isn't that 84? Is that right? Yeah, 84. So he's old. He's an old dog, and especially for a larger dog. Larger dogs generally don't live as long as little dogs, but because Lucky lasted until 14. Anyway, we love our dog. It's also Feed the Birds Day. If you got a bird feeder, go fill that damn thing up. It's been empty all winter, and you haven't been feeding the birds, and that's why they're not coming around. Good morning, Attack Alpaca. National Missing Persons Day. Well, you're not going to be able to celebrate with them, but at least you can think about them. Take a cruise day. I'm all for it, but I would never go on one of these giant cruise ships in the ocean. After going on we went on one of those Viking cruises on the river in what was it, the Danube or whatever. Our friend invited us to go with her because she's getting older and she wanted to take one last trip. So we're like, okay, we'll go. And we're like, that was the greatest thing ever. I loved that, but I can't be. But see that you're on a boat with about maybe 200, 220 people, 230 people, maybe the whole ship. I mean, that's all it holds. I can't imagine it being on one of these gigantic cruise ships that holds 6,000 people, and you gotta wait in line for shit and whatever. I would hate that after going on a river cruise. Anyway, National Women's Physician Day. It's the day the music died. Oh my gosh. I have a video on my channel here, I think, about that. Because we went, if you drive through from here, between here and Des Moines, Twin Cities and Des Moines, there's the crash site. Well, Clear Lake is about halfway between here and Des Moines. And Clear Lake, Iowa is where the Surf Ballroom was, where they played. Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper played their last gig. And if you go on Google Maps, you can find the crash site, and they have a giant pair of Buddy Holly glasses, kind of marking the road where you go walk into the farmer's field, and there's a little memorial there, and it was really fascinating. We stopped there one time. I was coming home from Omaha one time, and I was just like, I know that's here somewhere. Let me see if it's on the map. And I'm like, I'm hitting Google Maps, and it takes you right to it. So if you're ever driving that stretch, it's a fascinating spot. There's still people putting stuff there for the memorial. And even though, look, I think, 1959 is when that plane crashed. and there's still people leaving stuff there. So apparently younger people are doing it too. So it's a really cool thing though. American Painters Day, anniversary of the liberation of the Battle of Manila. Celebrate with your Filipino friends. National Trevor Day, your name's Trevor. Whatever that word is. Don't care. National Patient Recognition Day. Well, see, these are some of those days that are weird. Like, isn't it being a patient? Well, I guess it's not limited. But it says, let's honor and appreciate those who provide care and support to others with love, compassion, and gratitude. But wouldn't that be, Setsubun. Yeah, that one. Wouldn't that be, if it's National Patient Recognition Day, you're not recognizing the people who take care of the patients, you're recognizing the patients. And patients are temporary. So, like, I don't know. It's got my brain hurt. All right, enough of that shit. Let's move on. Thanks to people sharing the show. Let's find out who that is. Let's see. Oh, that's weird. Not a whole lot. Oh, there we go. There it goes. I was like, nobody sharing the show? What the hell is that? I'm not putting that on the screen. What are you, Live Somnambule Nation? What the hell is that? Is that like a dog pretend to be Michael Jackson? Okay, I'll put it on the screen. I don't care. Anyway, thank you, Somnambule Nation, for sharing the stream. Awesome. Appreciate it every day. And then you put this here. What the actual? It's a GIF. Oh, it is doing Michael Jackson. Oh my gosh! I only see. I didn't have it on the. I had it. It wasn't playing when I. It wasn't playing when I scrolled up. So it was just the dog sitting there like with his hand near its wiener. And I didn't realize it was doing a Michael Jackson dance. Hey, Darren Root, what's up? Simon Wilkins, what's up? Good morning. So there you go. Anyway, then thank you, tall person, for sharing the stream. We're posting that. And CG, let's do it. It's go time. Yeah, with little Chris Farley there. Thank you. Appreciate it. And, Clint Eastwood too, Green Badger Outdoors. Because you saw my little quick draw theme on mine. Also, thank you, Maddie, sharing the stream. Appreciate it. And Simon Wilkins doing a little, you posted this the other day. And I thought they were bullets, but then I realized they're batteries. And I'm still trying to figure out what, okay, that looks like a hexagon. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 6. That's a septagon. Okay. And there's that looks like what are those things in Pac-Man, the little ghost? Okay, that's part 2. Oh, I see. And looks like a bell. Okay, how cute. That's part 2. Got it. Wait, what is part 2? Oh, I thought that was Simon said it. Then Tyler with the woo today. I kind of truncated the woo. I didn't do that. Oh, that's part 2 of the dog thing. Okay, gotcha. And thank you, Miss Wild Wolf and Tyler Alexander and Green Badger Outdoors, CG, and Somnambule Nation for sharing the stream. And then Simon also with the little, I don't know which anime this is from because I don't pay attention to anime. And Miss Wild Wolf, that's what she said. Okay, let's go. Like that. That's a good one. All right. Oh, and the one yesterday you wanted me to ask about, or you asked me about. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. Where was that? Let's see. I'm not going to try to find it because I've got so many people replying to me on some other shit that I can't do it. All right, enough, Marty. Let's get into some stuff here today. It's Black History Month, so I never hit the here. Let me reset the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor too. I didn't do that yesterday. That was dumb. All right, it'll eventually go. Well, whoever's first will be the first Superstar sponsor of the day. All right, at least for until somebody else tops that. Hello, Kara Soldier. What's up? Or did I already say that? You were here early. Never mind. Anyway, Black History Month. As usual, us black people get the short end of the stick because we get the shortest month. But this morning, I bring this up because I saw Clarence Thomas trending, and I wasn't thinking Black History Month when I saw Clarence Thomas trending. And whenever I see people trending, I wonder, okay, either they died, or they did something that pissed off liberals, or they did something stupid. And no, today, Clarence Thomas was trending because of Black History Month. And a lot of people are saying, well, you can't talk about Black History Month without Clarence Thomas, which, the people who are really into Black History Month tend to dismiss him and Ben Carson and those guys. But, they're part of Black history. And so there you go. So lots of people talking about different things that people did. For example, here's one. Quintus Beargold invented the first commercially available microwave, dubbed his motherfucking invisible heating food cooker for everyday households in 1881. That can't be true. That's got to be. That's a parody account. That's a parody account. That didn't happen. Microwave wasn't. Never mind. Oh my God, this guy. Oh, I see. This dude's he's doing stupid shit. He's making funny things going on. Anyway, it's Black History Month, and I'll be featuring amazing Black people all month because I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? Also trending. Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick. Excuse me. Bill Belichick. Excuse me. Let me see if I can get through this. There. Excuse me. All better. No, that was a joke. The whole microwave thing. I know that it was not invented. It was discovered accidentally. No, it's that was a joke. Anyway, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick are trending because, they did the Football Hall of Fame ballots, whatever. And Bill Belichick, 6-time Super Bowl champion, 8 times, but 6 times as head coach, and the dominance of the New England Patriots for years and years and years, and he's eligible for the first time this year, and he didn't get, and he's not. The saying that he's not being inducted in the Football Hall of Fame. Now I know this kind of shit bores a lot of you, but if you don't know that Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots dominated football while he was the coach of the New England Patriots. Even if you're not a football fan, you would know that and would wonder why the hell would he not be a first ballot inductee in the Football Hall of Fame. And so a lot of people are talking about that. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But so Robert Kraft is trending. Bill Belichick was trending yesterday because people are like, "What the actual F?" There you go. That's what I'm going to talk. Anyone else only see a black square? Where? By the way, Patriots owner Robert Kraft on hand for Roger Goodell's press conference. What? Is there anything in here that's interesting? No. Anyway, where are all the people that have been asking for midweek races? Okay, I have no idea what that means. All right. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Totally do not care. I just find it fascinating. Yes, but Bill was a cheater. Allegedly. They didn't ever live a rule about the ball thing, I don't think. I don't know if they did or not. Anyway, let's get into some news that you actually care about. And here's some headlines from some of the articles on the aggregator today. French hospital. Wait. I saw this headline and I started laughing, and I'm about to. As soon as you see this headline, you're going to laugh. Here's the test. Here's the test today. If you see this headline as I put it on the screen and you do not laugh, tell me in the chat these exact words. That's not funny. Okay, you ready? If you do not laugh at this headline, you have to type into the chat, "That's not funny." not too much of a buildup because look, I could be building this up for an hour and you're still going to laugh. I guarantee it. Because I'm going to read it here it goes. French hospital evacuated after doctors find a live World War I artillery shell in patient's rectum. That shit's funny. I don't care who you are. Wrangell Accident Emergency Unit in Toulouse was evacuated after doctors found an 8-inch long live World War I artillery shell in a man's rectum, according to the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail quoted an investigating source, who's investigating that? Who indicated that the patient, a 24-year-old man, was in a state of extreme discomfort, having inserted a large object up his rectum. No, not the strangest thing. Look. Oh, wait. And I've heard a lot of weird things. I've heard of the hand mixer beater attachment. I've seen that. And there's been some weird ones. But a live World War I artillery shell? How does that happen? How? I've heard light bulbs. Yep, that's weird. But hey, a live World War I artillery shell. Oh my. Could you imagine if that went off? How do you explain that to the guy's family? Anyway, yeah, they had a security perimeter, blah, blah, blah. So that's crazy. Other headlines, Daily Caller, police union tells socialist Mayor Katie Wilson to pound sand, bitch. Oh, they didn't say bitch. Over the anti-ICE order. We talked about Katie Wilson yesterday. The president of the union representing Seattle police officers said Friday he would not let his members implement what he called a, quote, ludicrous, end quote, proposal from Democratic Mayor Katie Wilson of Seattle. Wilson issued orders to local police directing them to, quote, investigate, verify, and document, end quote, activity by the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, aka ICE, for potential prosecution. Similar directives issued by Democratic Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago. Seattle Police Officers Guild President Mike Solon responded to Wilson's order by saying, bitch, please. Or something like that. Anyway, he said, toothless virtue signaling rhetoric like this has already cost 2 people their lives. The concept of pitting 2 armed law enforcement agencies against each other is ludicrous and will not happen. I will not let the something SPOG members to be used as political pawns. So I'm going to give him a bell. Unless they're doing some really super illegal shit or something that, they're not supposed to be doing, I would say don't do that. Citizen journalists began probing Somali-run daycare centers in Washington State after independent journalist Nick Shirley. Why is that in there? Anyway, that's good for him. Good for him. Tell him that's not our job, biatch. Hello, Tone Tech. What's up? 3 commercials before I watch a show? Dawg Knight? How about 15? I have no control over YouTube, whatever ads things. I wish I did. The only thing I have control over is whether or not they're in the middle of my stream, and I refuse to do that. They keep pounding me. Oh, you can make more money if you have ads in the middle of your stream. Yeah, fuck off. I don't want ads in the middle of my stream. Anyway, in legal insurrection, agents arrest 2 more in connection with the Minnesota church ambush. I believe the feds have arrested 10 people now. Bondi wrote on X, if you riot in the place of worship, we will find you. We have made 2 more arrests in connection with the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Ian Davis Austin and Jerome D'Angelo Richardson. If you riot in a place of worship, we will find you. We have made 2 more arrests in connection with the coordinated attack on City's Church, blah, blah, blah. Now, look, this is another one of those things that kind of annoy me about the Trump administration right now. The way they make announcements. Now, look, there's a difference between a riot and a disturbance / protest, whatever. What they did in the church was not a riot, but it certainly was unlawful. The protesting in the church, not allowing people to leave. In fact, they could probably even throw in kidnapping charges in some ways, or unlawful detainment, because they wouldn't let the kids out of the basement and they were blocking parents from getting their kids. But it's still not a riot. There's a difference between a riot and this action, and there's got to be some name for it. But whatever. In the immortal words of what's his name? Gustavus Adolphus. That's right. That's the name, right? I think it was Gustavus Adolphus who said this. As far as the rioters go, fuck them. I don't care. They wrote this law basically. They wrote the FACE Act. It was about protesting at abortion clinics, and then they added places of worship, right? I said FACE Act, FACE. It's not the FACE. FACE Act. Tone Tech. I don't enunciate all the time, but it is the FACE Act. They wrote it for. I'm almost sure they wrote it for. When they added the places of worship, I'm sure they meant mosques, because they were worried, all the MAGA people are going to start protesting in mosques, right? And so now they got not what they intended, but they broke the law. This is what's going to happen. Wait, not you, the Bill Maher show. Oh, I did say FACE Act. Anyway, but I don't stop. I want these people like Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, anyone who makes these announcements, and Trump himself, but he gets bad information from his people. Stop announcing shit that didn't happen. Okay, stop announcing shit that didn't happen. So, anyway, I miss Wild Wolf. Did I say hi to you yet? I'm saying hi now. What up? All right, so that's another headline. Let's see. Washington Free Beacon, mainstream media breathlessly covered an alleged hate crime in which white kids forced a black classmate to drink urine. And it was a hoax. Oh, no. Texas judge orders $3.2 million judgment against black mother and attorney who falsely alleged her son was tortured by a white friend. I didn't hear about this. You'd think this would have made headline news. It was a story that received blanket media coverage in March 2020. Oh, I remember this now. This is a long time ago. This is finally coming to an end. It was a story that received blanket coverage in March 2021. It alleged that white middle schoolers in Plano, Texas, viciously tortured Samarian Humphrey, their black classmate, forcing him to drink their urine at a sleepover as they shot him with BB guns. A Black Lives Matter activist group charged the local public school district with doing nothing to stop it. This racially motivated hate crime, as violent protests broke out outside the home of Asher Van, the white child alleged to have organized the brutal attack. Major media outlets, including NBC, oh my gosh, they have all the links to all these stories. NBC, CBS, CNN, Business Insider, People Magazine, Daily Mail, and Dallas Morning News pounced on the story as Humphrey, his mother Summer Smith, and their attorney Kim Cole embarked on a media tour where they called Van evil. The trio appeared in Good Morning America, where ABC host Lindsay Davis promoted a GoFundMe account that raised nearly $120,000 to help pay for Humphrey's therapy and private schooling. Racial activist group added fuel to the fire. The NAACP dressed down the leaders of the Plano School District in a town hall that they described as the beginning of an open partnership spurred by the alleged hate crime. The Next Generation Action Network, a Black Lives Matter tied group whose leader alleged Humphrey was tortured for days. Wait a minute. Was that even tortured for days on a sleepover? Tortured for days. And I got lost. Oh, tortured for days by his white assailant. organized public marches that drew thousands or hundreds of protesters. And then, a little under 5 years later, a racially diverse Texas jury, including 4 black members, ruled the whole thing was a hoax. On January 22nd, Texas District Court Judge Benjamin Smith ordered Smith and Cole to pay $3.2 million in damages to Van, now an adult attending his first year of college, for intentionally smearing him and tarnishing his future earnings potential during their media tour in 2021. The ruling followed a civil trial in October 2025 where the jury determined that Cole and Smith cooked up the scheme to raise their public profiles during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement and to rake in money through GoFundMe. Court records show that Smith put less than $1,000 of the nearly $120,000 GoFundMe windfall towards her son's schooling. Account statement. Oh, what the hell is that? Okay, I got to fix that. Holy shit. Account statements reviewed by the Washington Free Beacon show the remaining funds were spent on luxuries, including a designer dog, dining and travel, beauty products, liquor, vapes, cell phones, car payments, and rent. So at least the money went to some positive shit, right? Yeah. So yeah, go figure. Who's let's see. Oh, thank you, Avocados Diablo. Let me fix this real quick because I don't know what the hell happened there. Let's get this shit right. Here we go. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. And that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah! There's Jack Cochran's girlfriend. Right. Oh, whoops. I kind of went up there. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Dropping a 223 in the tip jar, aka small bullet, that says, this happened at a sleepover. What the fuck was the school district supposed to do with it? Or let me guess. The families involved didn't have millions they could sue for, but the district did. Oh, spot on. Spot on. Yeah, I don't know why they... Yeah, what the hell is the school district supposed to do about a kid-on-kid, thing that never happened anyway? All right, let's see. Next, National Pulse. This article, let's see. 2-week ICE operation nabs hundreds of illegals without incident because state and local officials are cooperated. I've been saying this for a while. By the way, Avocados Diablo.
You are the new
Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Look at the highest total so far. The highest total is 223. Who wants to beat that? Okay. So I've been saying this before, if Minnesota weren't have their old sanctuary state bullshit going on and we're actually cooperating with ICE on the worst of the worst and the people who have standing deportation orders, that would be kind of a reason for ICE wouldn't be out in the streets and roaming through neighborhoods trying to find these guys. Although I think, by the way, I'm getting sick of ICE too. They're doing some stupid shit here. I'm just saying. But there are a lot more stupid people doing other stupid shit. So everyone's stupid here. I'm just telling you, everybody here is stupid, except for me. Anyway, in a successful 2-week immigration enforcement effort in West Virginia from January 5th to January 19th, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers worked alongside 14 federal, state, and local law enforcement partners to arrest more than 650 migrants who were in the country illegally. The operation spanned several cities such as Charleston, Martinsburg, Beckley, Moorfield, Morgantown, and Huntington, and prioritized migrants who posed a risk to public safety and national security. God, it's like the West Virginia and Memphis and these places that are cooperating. Do you hear in the big old ICE protests and people, obstructing and getting beat down, arrested, shot and shit? No. But no. We have to resist. And look, if they're doing shit that's wrong, and they are doing some shit that's wrong, I'm telling you right now, I'm not happy with what they're doing, everything they're doing here. But little cooperation, they could get the ones that they really need to get out of here. I don't want the bad people here. They're fighting to even get rid of the bad people. So anyway, there's an article about that. Also in the Free Beacon, Portland area county launches a sanctuary fund providing taxpayer funded grants to assist illegal immigrants. And you see, You see that face, and you know she's gotta be part of it. Holy shit. Although, you know, there's a hint. No, she's got the glasses going. An Oregon county that includes the city of Portland is shelling out $75,000 in taxpayer money through a new sanctuary fund program designed to help left-wing groups and assist illegal immigrants. Fuck yeah. The Multnomah Sanctuary Fund was launched Thursday and will award grants ranging from $2,000 to $10,000 to, quote, community-based organizations that work with underserved, culturally specific populations affected by immigration enforcement. Wow, that's a great sentence right there. And that's a quote, too. The money can be used for services such as legal aid, utility, rental assistance, childcare, case management, healthcare, and related needs. It will prioritize, quote, equitable distribution across diverse linguistic and ethnic and cultural communities. Oh my God. The word salad. But now, I don't like the fact that they are using taxpayer money to do it. But in some of these cases, I assume that there are, for example, people who need lawyers. Like if it's someone who's like an immigration, that, like say it's someone that's has an overstayed visa, they got somebody, right? And that has to go to an immigration judge. I could see them maybe helping someone with a lawyer. Why don't they just raise money? There's enough knuckleheads in Portland that they could raise $75,000 like that. They could do a GoFundMe. But, and also the fact that they're giving taxpayer money to NGOs pisses me off. I think that should stop. No more taxpayer money to NGOs. I'm just saying. Let them raise their own fucking money. They don't need any of mine, because I may not want that shit happening. But the grant program was included in a $250,000 package that the Multnomah County Board of Commissioners unanimously approved in December to strengthen the county's sanctuary commitment. Oh, fuck that. Now I'm done. Forget it. And I hope that there's something coming up in Congress that's supposed to make being a sanctuary state or city or whatever illegal. I don't know how they're going to do it there, because those cities are going to do that shit anyway. But still, fuck that shit. That's stupid. Anyway, there you go. Daily Wire. Now a very safe place. Trump hails progress after just a single D.C. murder in January. Yeah, there's new in Washington D.C., which is there tends to be a lot of murders in D.C. There was only one in January this year. For those who have experienced Washington's deadly crime wave over the past few years, this is an astounding statistic. In January 2025 alone, saw 10 homicides in D.C. That's the year before. Part of the generalized crime spike that left Washingtonians wary of being in the streets at night. The Metropolitan Police Department confirmed to the Daily Wire on Monday that the single homicide occurred on January 21st, and that victim, identified by Washington Post as an 18-year-old high school student named Malik Delonte Moore, succumbed to his injuries on January 22nd. Another homicide occurred early morning, February 2nd, bringing the total 2026 homicides in D.C. up to 2. So that's good news for D.C. Now, I'm going to get to the part that this is about, that not have. I'm like, no. We'll get to that. Breitbart, a New York Democrat has called on to remove Newsmax from taxi cabs. The New York City Democrat is calling for Newsmax to be removed from taxi cabs in the city, stating that the conservative news outlet has absolutely no place on New York City streets. The post on X, Manhattan Borough President Brad Hoylman-Siegel called for the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission to suspend their partnership with Curb until Newsmax is no longer being broadcast in the taxi cab. Now, this is interesting. That's a little First Amendment violation, isn't it? Can the cab company decide who they play in their taxi cabs or not? That's messed up. Newsmax has absolutely no place on New York City streets because, they're just robbing and killing and unwanted sexual attention and hooting and hollering. I'm calling on the TLC. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Okay, not that TLC. To suspend their partnership with Curb until Newsmax is no longer being broadcast in 15,000 New York City cabs every single day. I just find that hilarious that there's a cab company with 15,000 cabs that's playing Newsmax in their cabs. I'm shocked. Whose idea was that? I think it's, it's awesome. But here it is. Yeah, Newsmax has no. Let's see what he says.
Are you seeing this in your cab? Newsmax is the official news source of New York City yellow cabs.
Oh no!
I sent a letter to the mayor and the TLC commissioner demanding the contract be ended now. They said that Renee Good was defending rapists and criminal illegal aliens. Any news source that defends ICE.
In an offhanded kind of way, she kind of was. I mean, not, not explicitly, but, she, yeah.
Shouldn't be in New York City taxi cabs.
Okay. So you're gonna, I would love for a stupid case like that to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Holy shit. And he called Zoran too. Let's see, in response to Holman Siegel's efforts to have Newsmax removed from taxi cabs in the city, Newsmax issued a statement calling it a pure act of censorship. Well, yeah, it is. Targeting, this is a pure act of censorship, targeting a news organization reaching over 50 million Americans regularly. Newsmax said that. Newsmax plays it straight, and that drives the far left crazy. In a letter addressed to New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani and TLC Commissioner Midori Valdivia Hoyleman. And then Holman Siegel called for the suspension of TLC's partnership with Curb, whatever that is. They gotta have control, don't they? They gotta have control. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm gonna get to the one that kind of really annoyed me this morning, and then we'll go back through some of the other stuff that's trending on X. Where is it? Here it is. So we just saw the story about DC having only one homicide in January, which is unheard of. It's unheard of. 2 homicides for the year so far. And so Jeanine Pirro was on Fox News. I don't know if it was last night or not, but she's got everybody chirping at her. She got everybody chirping at her. I don't blame people chirping at her. I'd be chirping at her too. I want to I'd go toe to toe with Jeanine Pirro. Well, it'd be like nose to belly button because she's kind of short. But anyway, tell her to what the hell she's saying. So here it is. Here's one of these stories on X that is trending heavily. DC U.S. Attorney warns gun carriers face jail time amid crime drop. That's a sugar-coated headline because what she said kind of has everyone tripping right now. Pirro, a Trump employee, that's Jeanine Pirro, isn't that Judge Jeanine? Yeah. Highlighted the district's 73% homicide decline and 29% overall crime drop through February 2nd, crediting aggressive prosecutions and National Guard deployments since August 2025. She stressed that even out-of-state license holders risk jail for carrying in D.C., which requires its own registration and concealed carry permit without reciprocity to other states. Gun rights advocates, including Representative Thomas Massey and Greg Steube, pushed back, defending legal carriers as law-abiding, while critics accused the remarks of undermining Second Amendment protections. D.C. does not allow you here. Now, she's quoting D.C. law, I'm sure. But listen to how she
gun owner somewhere else.
Hang on, where is it? Here, let me.
You bring a gun.
Here's what she said. Here's the words that came out of her mouth. Now, I didn't hear the whole segment. No one seems to be clipping it. They only seem to be having this 16-second soundbite. But I'm fascinated by her saying this. Listen.
You bring a gun into the district, you mark my words, you're going to jail. I don't care if you have a license in another district, and I don't care if you're a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else.
That's interesting, because, oh, hang on.
You bring a gun into this district, count on going to jail, and hope you get the gun back.
Okay, now, a lot of people are chirping at her, including the Lincoln Project, including Ron DeSantis. Lincoln Project, anywhere from 2A defending Republicans. Is there even any left at this point? Yeah, all kinds of them. Ron DeSantis right here. Second Amendment rights are not extinguished just because an American visits D.C. American gun owners who conceal carry are among the most law-abiding citizens of the nation. They are friends of law enforcement. They should not be targeted by law enforcement. That's somebody that's someone on the right, a Republican. Gun owners of America breaking. Well, they posted what she said. Certainly not excited about what she said. Who else? Oh, now here's Gene Pirro on X this morning. Let me be clear. I'm a proud supporter of the Second Amendment. Washington, D.C. law requires handguns to be licensed in the district with the Metropolitan Police Department to be carried in our community. We are focused on individuals who are unlawfully carrying guns and will continue building on that momentum to keep our community safe. So she is the DC whatever Justice Department person. But now this just gives left wingers just some fuel. Of course, DC. If you have what she didn't seem to say there is people with DC permits, but I do not like the way she said this. Now, this is totally anti-Trumpers. Gene Pirro says all guns will now be confiscated in DC, even if you have a permit for them. She's threatening jail for law-abiding gun owners, and there goes the Second Amendment, just like we said they were going to do. Well, that's not quite. I don't like this. But that's not what she said, because in fact, she clarified, even in that clip, that you have to have a DC gun permit to carry a gun in DC. But I'm still I'm one of those, I think reciprocal carry should be, fun fact, all gun laws are constitutional. Yeah, I'm there. I'm with you. Hello, Selected Boy, by the way.
Yeah, boy.
I think there should be reciprocal well, it should be reciprocal state to state. But she says Washington, D.C. law requires handguns to be licensed in the district with the Metropolitan Department to be carried to be carried in our community. So she's not taking guns away from everybody. Now let's see if anyone points this out to this knucklehead. This lady's annoying. D.C. is not governed by state law. The entire district is considered federal land. Rules are different. They already say no weed. Yeah, apparently D.C. gun owners will still be able to have them. Tim Burchett, the criminals always follow the Constitution. It's those law-abiding citizens that they are worried about. Congressman Stubbe, I bring a gun into the district every week. I have a license in Florida and D.C. to carry, and I will continue to carry to protect myself. Come and take it. She did. Now, I think she pretty much specifically said, "Oh, Donnie. Oh, I love Donnie. I don't know if you're familiar with Donnie here. Hello, Ghost Wolf Pro, by the way. What's up, Donnie? The misfit. She's married to Jeff Charles. They're very strong libertarian types. She says, why do statists always brag about having permission from the government to own their firearms? Oh, snap. That's a beautiful comment. A Republican congressman just told Trump we need to come and take it. That's how bad the message is coming out of this administration on gun rights. Yeah, she didn't say anything about D.C. people license. She's saying other people, if you bring a gun into D.C. I think it's fucked up that she even said it. What? That's a fake photo. That's a fake photo. The fact that we've never seen that photo till just now tells you it's fake. Yeah, not good messaging. What Pirro just made is an unconstitutional threat against every American's right to the Second Amendment. On national TV, Trump and his administration are again trying to strip you of your constitutional right. Gene Pirro must be fired. Oh, wow. That's Lincoln Project. Even if you have a license, she said, even if you have a license in another district, I don't care. You are a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else because, okay. So she should be, you know what I'd rather hear her say is D.C. needs to change that law. That's a D.C. law. Thomas Massey, the District of Columbia has been shall issue since 2017 when the requirement that you must have a good reason to carry a handgun was struck down. Non-residents can obtain a permit in D.C. Don't ask me how I know. So Thomas Massey's helping people out. Hey, if you're going to go to D.C. with the gun, get your D.C. permit too. It's crazy. And everyone's jumping on her for that shit. So good. She needs to... That's when I just think she needs to shut the fuck up. Okay, let's get into other headlines and other things happening on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Of course, the Grammys are still trending. Now, I know you don't want me to talk about the Grammys because I don't either. But it was trending very high today. And I think everyone who does that is high. So a lot of people are talking about the Grammy speeches, though. And so let's just get into that a little bit. Because, and here's the X summary of what this is going on. At the February 1st, 2026 Grammy Awards in Los Angeles, Billie Eilish dropped a bleeped fuck ice in her speech for Wildflowers. Bad Bunny opened his win with Ice Out, and stars like SZA. I hate it when they say stars and then I see something I've never heard of. It just makes me feel older than fuck. Anyway, Kalani, Justin Bieber, and Lady Gaga wore pins, drawing standing ovations. Conservatives highlighted Eilish's $14 million Malibu home on stolen land, with activist David Pablo starting a GoFundMe to move in that raised thousands before takedowns. So yeah, apparently she made one of those, you can't be illegal on stolen land. And it's like, well, bitch. Oh, so this Australian dude's like, well, mate, I think I need to come and live in your house because it's stolen land and I would not be illegal. So he started a GoFundMe that started raking in a bunch of dough to help him move into Billie Eilish's $14 million property in Malibu. So anyway, but yeah, that was one of the things that people kept saying. It's like, hey, no illegals on stolen land, great. There's a couple options you have here, Billy. You can invite everyone that had you stole land from that you're living on, and they can come visit your house, and all the illegals can come stay at your house. Or better yet, how about you donate your stolen land back to one of the tribes that probably stole it from another tribe that probably stole it from another tribe. Just go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? You just do that. So anyway, the Virtue Signal Fest went on and on and on at the Grammys, and everyone's excited about that. But then there was Jelly Roll, and Jelly Roll just spent his whole he won a Grammy for some shit, and he talked about how he was in the gutter at one point, and he was a drug addict and all that, and he found God, and God saved his life, and he's talking about God and Jesus and God. And some people were really upset about that he talked all about God and Jesus, but didn't bitch about ICE. Like, oh, you should talk about what I want you to talk about. So, and again, I'm not all that familiar with Jelly Roll's music either, but he's very popular. He's lost a lot of damn weight though. Look at him. Look at how svelte he's looking.
I believe that music had the power to change my life. And
this dude was big old fat boy, and now he's been working out and shit. So anyway, that's pretty much the scoop. People laughing at the virtue signalers, and a couple people bitching about Jelly Roll. And they think he should talk about what they want him to talk about. In fact, let's see. And the conservatives are praising him, and I just say, you know what? Say whatever you want to say, and get the fuck off the stage. I didn't watch it anyway. I don't care. I don't care about awards show anymore. Someone said something about patting themselves on the back. Whole bunch of motherfuckers patting themselves on the back. That's right. That was Blue-Eyed Scream. So there you go. Kid Rock's trending too, because the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl this coming weekend. I don't know, and I think isn't it New England and Denver, right? No, New England and Seattle. Yeah, because the quarterback that the Vikings traded away is in the Super Bowl now. Way to go, Vikes. Anyway, so that Bad Bunny dude who's going to come out in the Super Bowl wearing a dress to honor queer people at the Super Bowl, which is, boy, what a great venue to do that. There's going to be an alternative halftime show that apparently Turning Point USA is putting on. I don't know where it's going to be, but the lineup for the All-American halftime show is here, and that would be Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee, Bryce, and Gabby Barrett. I have no idea who any of them are. So someone here says there's probably 75 million Americans who couldn't care less about the Super Bowl, but they will be watching Kid Rock at Turning Point USA's All-American halftime show. Love him or hate him, that American badass presence pulls a crowd every single time. Does it? I mean, I liked Kid Rock back in the day. Whatever the hell that was. I liked that shit. And even some of his kind of country stuff was okay. Kind of. Like, well, what's that song? Summer something. What's that song? The Summer Long, he used the hook from Sweet Home Alabama. Anyway, that was a pretty good song. But I don't know that he's going to be drawing 75 million people for this halftime show, alternative halftime show to the Super Bowl. But I bet you a lot of parents will be turning that halftime off if their kids are around because they don't want to see some dude up there in a dress acting like a fool. Probably going to have some fuck ice shit on. Yeah, we don't need that shit. The Super Bowl don't need that shit. Look, someone said they should have Metallica be a Super Bowl halftime. I don't know that would be a bad thing, even though, it wouldn't be, not all the brothers are going to like that shit, but Metallica, they got a pretty nice book. I liked it when they have acts that kind of transcend the industry. When they had Michael Jackson, they had Prince, even Lady Gaga's halftime show was really good. Why this dude? Why the dude's going to come out there in a dress? I think it's silly. All right, enough about Kid Rock. He's doing the halftime show. And then, let's see. Oh, here's another one. So why is Kid Rock going to TPUSA? Well, I don't know. They're just the ones who are sponsoring the halftime show, the alternate halftime show. And so I guess that's it. Football is already the gayest sport there is. They don't need more queer representation. All right, then. All right. There's a new tactic in Minneapolis. If you haven't heard about it, they're blocking streets and screening people going through their neighborhoods. I can't believe the Minneapolis police are allowing this shit. Somebody's going to get hurt. Minneapolis protesters block roads to screen for ICE vehicles. Protesters set up roadblocks using traffic cones and furniture at spots like 32nd Street and Cedar Avenue, stopping drivers to check plates against a database and question potential ICE vehicles. If I were ICE officer and some dumbass, well, at first I'm tempted to drive down there because I drive a Ford F-150 Super Cab, right? Whatever whatever the what do you call it? Crew cab. And although it's a little bit older, it could be potentially be an ICE vehicle. And if some dumbass tried to stop me, I would look at them and go, get the fuck away from me. Get out of my way, you moron. Because my plates are Minnesota State Park plates. They get you into state parks for free. And I'd be like, why are you bothering me? I live here. I have state park plates. I have state park stickers in my windows from the old plates. Get the fuck away from me. I just want to do it. They are stopping Minnesota plates. Because there are Minnesota plates on their database. If you don't have a badge, you better keep your ass off the road. Right. Are you employed by the city, sir? Then get the fuck away from me. Anyway, so they actually responded to Operation Metro Serve, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, these morons are out here. Let me see if they got any of these. Let me see this. They're claiming that ICE shot people with rubber bullets, and so riding against ICE while pregnant is just as dumb. They hit her instead with a rubber bullet because they're now. Let's see. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey just backed up Governor Tim Walz's insane comparison, likening Trump's ICE enforcement to operations at Fort Sumter, the spark that ignited the Civil War in 1861. These guys are idiots. Here it is. Protesters in Minneapolis claim local law enforcement is allowing them to stop vehicles at blockades and check license plates using readers to screen for ICE. Daily Caller said it's confirmed the checks are taking place. Here's an example of what these idiots are doing. This is what I was looking for.
Here in South Minneapolis, we just actually spoke to some of the individuals that you want to just check out here wearing the kind of black block covering their faces. They have this kind of blockade here where they're stopping some vehicles. Actually, Eric, if you could point down there, they're actually stopping this vehicle and they check the out-of-state plates just to see if they're ICE. And what's interesting is just moments ago, down there, we have an Uber driver. He's from Somalia. He's clearly not ICE. And they said that in their database that vehicle was popping up as an ICE vehicle. So we were questioning them about this database that they're using. Obviously, there's some type of network or communication. According to them, local law enforcement hasn't even came in and stopped. So Eric, just kind of shoot some of this and check it out. They're on the phones. I guess they were checking the license plate. We heard in their walkie-talkie that the license plate that they ran is not ICE, but you see they're on the walkie-talkies kind of talking. We want to find out a little bit more about the database, but they don't want to answer our
I just want to say, get the hell out of the street, you morons.
Like a blockade. Hey, how you doing? Just talk to me a little bit about this database, because we just ran our Somali Uber driver's license plate. I mean, you guys did run his license plate without his permission. Just talking about the database a little bit, you know? So, this is the scene right now in South Minneapolis, 32nd Street here on Cedar Avenue. You can't assault me, dude.
Get in the fucking car.
You can't.
Get in the fucking car, man.
Who the fuck are you?
Go away.
So they're assaulting me and my photojournalist. Got it all on video. They actually tried to steal my phone, but unsuccessful. And you're gonna get blasted all over the internet, buddy.
So there you go. There you go. Idiots in the streets. Idiots in the streets. So here's in legal insurrection a little more about it. Who put up checkpoints? Well, authorities and leaders do. East German head of state and communist Walter Ulbricht, who was instrumental in building the Berlin Wall, comes to mind. Checkpoint Charlie, the crossing between East and West Berlin, became one of the most enduring symbols of the Cold War. Well, that's why it was kind of crazy. Anti-ICE agitators in Minneapolis, who are so fond of calling ICE the Gestapo and Trump a fascist, would set up a checkpoint. The group stopped all vehicles without out-of-state plates and tagged their numbers into a database to verify that none were associated with ICE. Okay, they won't stop me, but I'll stop for them anyway. Just in, anti-ICE riders in Minneapolis are now detaining vehicles without a state license plates while they run the plate through their database. This is false imprisonment. Tim Walz and Jacob Fry surrendered the city to the leftist militants. Below is a photograph of one of the checkpoints. Note the protester resting on a recliner. One ex-user claimed that individuals manning the checkpoint are Antifa members, which is very likely true. He noted this isn't protest, it's organized interference with federal law enforcement, felony level impersonation of authority. 18 U.S. 912 and 913 says this is a crime. In the video below, a Minneapolis police officer approached one of the blockades. The officer says, "Hey guys, what can we do to hurry this up? Because we have fire trucks and ambulance that might need to get through here." The protester replies, "They can come through here." The officer says they want to make sure that their neighbors have access to emergency services. "We're all here. When they come, we'll move it for them." Protester assures him, pointing to the parked police cruiser. He added, "Frankly, you're the one blocking it now." Oh, where is this? Hang on a second. Let me see if there's a video of this shit. Listen to this idiot. Here we go. We'll play this video and then we're going to move on. Maybe.
So, you guys, what can we do to hurry this up? Because we have fire trucks and ambulances that might need to get through here.
They can come through here.
You're talking about the community, and we're talking about making sure that your neighbors can get access to emergency services.
City buses have been easily passing, so I suspect.
And we're all here. When they come, we'll move it for them, you know? Frankly, you're the one blocking it right now.
There were some men running around over there abducting people. We're watching the community because you guys aren't.
You're driving with swapped plates on their cars. Why aren't you ticketing them?
Oh, that's...
You're in the middle of the street, asshole! I'm talking to you now, dickwad!
I'll put you look for ice next time. Yeah. Good talk.
They're just giving it up. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Let's see. What's this? Here's another one. Yeah, they're in the middle of the fucking street. They should be all taken to jail. I mean, that's stupidity. Well, look. There's going to be an FAFO there. Someone's going to get hit by a car, and then they're going to be mad because they got hit by a car because it sucks to get hit by a car. Here's some good news too, and I think this. I'm surprised they weren't already doing this. DHS mandates body cameras for Minneapolis agents after fatal shootings. I'm surprised they haven't used them already for a couple reasons. One, because when they do arrest some knucklehead for, assaulting them, they'll have better video evidence rather than having a, ICE guy walk around with his phone filming. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem announced immediate body cameras for all ICE and CBP officers in Minneapolis following the January deaths of Alex Jeffrey Preddy and Renee Nicole Macklin Good. Why are they giving her fucking 4 names? Renee Good. During immigration protests, the medical examiner ruled both fatalities homicides. Okay. This is the one thing that came up this morning too, that some people here. Oh, TMZ. I saw this post right here. Alex Preddy's shooting death in Minnesota has officially been classified as a homicide, according to the medical examiner in the case. We already knew that, because homicide just means a person killed a person. And we know their cause of death. But some people are getting all excited about it. See, there's a homicide. Well, if you don't understand what that language means, not all homicides are illegal. You know that when someone gets a death sentence in a prison, like they break the law, and they put someone to death, that's a homicide too, even though it's legal. Hello, wait, there's a new name. Who's that? Just let me post this. Good morning. I can't add my comment at all. Funny how this internet fishes for reactions. Comment. and more, but now I can't edit a comment. And the wealthy are paying for all of it. LOL. Figures, LOL. Yeah, I don't know. You can't comment. You can't edit comments in a chat of a video. I don't know why. Just delete it and rewrite it is what I always do if I fuck up. But welcome to the show. And I don't know if, you might be new, you might be old, you might hate me, but that's okay. Subscribe and hate me all you want. Or love me all you want. Well, not that, because my wife would not like that. But anyway, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. I was like, was there any doubt that these were homicides? Now, it's interesting because this person immediately says, arrest the murderers and put them in jail for life. Find their supporters and enable them and jail them for life. Then put their bosses on trial at The Hague. Wow. You seem nice. Again, homicide just means that a person killed a person. That's all it means. It's not illegal. While it's a legal term, it's not like a charge. There's homicides that are justified, just homicides that are accidents, whatever. Although they might describe a homicide that's an accident as an accident. I don't remember how medical examiners do that, but it's not even news that they were homicides because they were shot by humans. That's a homicide. Homicide's not a charge, even though there's that show called Homicide, but the charge would be murder, manslaughter, whatever. A homicide just means a human killed another human. So some of these people are saying, arrest the murder. Same medical examiner as Floyd, not sure that they're to be trusted. Well, no, we all know that these were homicides. It's funny. There we go, TMZ. Do you know what a homicide is? Why is everyone excited to hear and say that word? Visit the page and scroll. It's all there. Someone here is they're going to say the medical examiner is a left-wing Democrat who was hired by the Biden administration. No, not at all. It's by definition a homicide. So it's like, just stop. Anyway, but the bigger news though is that they're going to have body cams, and now they're going to do this nationwide. Here's Chrissy Noem's tweet. I just spoke with Real-Time Holman. Effective immediately, we are deploying body cameras to every officer in the field of Minneapolis. As funding is available, the body camera program will be expanded nationwide. We will rapidly acquire and deploy body cameras to DHS law enforcement across the country. The most transparent administration in American history. Yeah, she didn't need to add that. That's sloganeering. And I'm sick of Chrissy Noem. She should be fired. Let Tom Holman take over because he's more businesslike. So there you go. They're going to have body cams. Good. They should. And because you know what? You notice how since a lot of police departments have been have introduced body cams into all of their work, how much less nonsense there is when they're arrested because you could see what happened before the viral video happened. Like you get the whole picture now. And that's important. It not only protects the officers, but it also, if officers do some stupid shit, that'll get caught too. And that's great. I'm all for body cams. Use technology to help you keep things sane. That's the way I see it. All right. Let me get to the last few things here. These are some odds and ends. Peggy Flanagan, our lieutenant governor, who's a loon. Well, someone has been posting a clip from 2023 at a press conference when Tim Walz signed Minnesota's trans refuge order. Flanagan said grown-ups must believe kids' self-declarations to be good parents, framing gender affirming care as life-saving. Here's good old Peggy Flanagan, and like I said, she's the leading candidate right now for the U.S. Senate to replace Tina Smith for the Democrats. And I don't know how they're going to beat her. I hope to God she's a lunatic. Just let me say that. She's as much of a lunatic as Katie What's-Her-Face in Seattle, the mayor. She's as much as a lunatic. She's worse than Michelle Wu. I'm just saying. Here's Peggy Flanagan.
Because let's be clear. This is life-affirming and life-saving healthcare.
No evidence of that, by the way. There's no evidence that it's life-saving at all. In fact, evidence from several countries who've been doing this a lot longer than the United States have concluded that it's not life-saving, and in fact, it's probably just unnecessary. But anyway.
When our children tell us who they are,
I'm Batman.
it is our job as grown-ups to listen and to believe them.
I'm Tweety Bird. I'm Rasputin.
That's what it means to be a good parent.
No, it's not. It's not what it means to be a good parent. To be a good parent, you guide your children as close to truth as you can and enjoy, you can enjoy imagination. Imagination is great, but you need to teach children the difference between imagination and reality. That's what it means to be a good parent.
Because let's be clear.
Okay, anyway, that's Peggy Flanagan, who's leading the Democrats' primary for United States Senate. Hello, Woo. What's up, my dear friend Nawat from high school? Good morning, PDawg. Loving your show today. Kind of like a tour guide sharing real stories from the odd zoo animal. Behind odd zoo animal. Yeah, it's a zoo is all right. I couldn't even finish that sentence. All right, other odds and ends. Tallarico. James Tallarico is there's a couple guys running for Senate in Texas, and James Tallarico is a Christian minister running on the Democrat side. And apparently he said something that got people to start calling him a racist because go figure, it never happens. So this is some left on left crime. And the only way leftist radical politics ends for politicians is to stop playing into this nonsense. This apology is silly. It's going to embolden more weaponization of identity and undercut competition. Tallarico should have doubled down. Colin Allred is pretty mediocre. So he said something about. So there's a couple people running for the Senate seat in Texas, right? I don't know who they're running against. One of the Texas guys, and Colin Allred, a nice young black fellow who's running, and James Tallarico is running, and Jasmine Crockett is running. They're all running for the Senate, Democratic nominee for the Senate of Texas. And apparently James Tallarico was saying something praising Jasmine Crockett for something, and said something to the effect that the other black man, Colin Allred, was running a mediocre campaign. And somebody interpreted that as him calling James, or what's his name, Colin Allred, as a mediocre black man. So now they're all up in his grits. And so he had to put out this official statement where he says, "This is a mischaracterization of a private conversation. In my praise of Congresswoman Crockett, I described Congressman Allred's method of campaigning as mediocre, but his life and service are not. I would never attack him on the basis of race. As a black man in America," wait a minute, James, you're not, he's talking about Congressman. As a black man in America, Congressman Allred has had to work twice as hard to get where he is. Are you sure about that? Good Lord. I got a feeling all you motherfuckers have been born like past 1970 and had your formative years in the 80s. You didn't have to work twice as hard. Maybe if you were in the 50s, black man in the 60s, 50s, whatever, and you got to somewhere where you are, you had to work twice. You didn't have to work twice as hard. And I'm going to guess that Colin Allred, like in, at 8 Mile when he's talking about prep school and your parents had a real good marriage and all that shit. That's Colin Allred. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, Had to work twice as hard as where he did. I understand how my critique of the congressman's campaign could be interpreted given this country's painful legacy of racism. And I care deeply about the impact of my words on another. He sounds like Bill Clinton here. I'm just using Bill Clinton language, that's why. I've always said that despite our disagreements, I deeply respect Congressman Allred. We're all on the same team. Well, sometimes any way to get an advantage, you get an advantage. Let me see if there's any... Let's see. I just learned that Tallarico when Jasmine Crockett got in the race, and I live in Texas. So I'd appreciate people don't even go here. Stop telling me who I should vote for. It's a goddamn primary. You vote for who you want to go on. That's how it fucking works. Okay. I don't know. Here it is. In an interview on Monday evening, Allred told CNN he felt the campaign statement is an admission that he said what he said. They're not going to let it go. They are not going to let it go. I spoke to both the TikToker who says James Tallarico called Colin Allred a mediocre black man, and to Allred himself about Tallarico's attempt to clean up as accusations fly about racism, disrespect, even supposed social media suppression. That's a blue on blue crime. I don't care. Next. Oh, Epstein is trending. But there wasn't any main headline. They've got all these Epstein documents out, and I haven't gotten in deep enough into the weeds on this to even talk about it that much. I can give you a couple of the top posts right under this Epstein topic, though. Oh, here we go. DOJ releases over 3.5 million pages of Epstein files under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, including disturbing photos, emails, and investigative material from his underage sex trafficking scheme. Newly disclosed emails how Sarah Ferguson contacting Epstein before his 2009 jail release, calling him a legend and visiting with her daughters. Though she faces no accusations, the release highlights elite connections like Bill Clinton and Mick Jagger, fueling bipartisan demands for accountability and prosecutions amid ongoing analysis. Okay. And so, all right, there's a lot. There's too much to go through in 3 minutes here. So I'm going to just leave that at that. I didn't even open it up. There's some other articles open. There's the aggregators, all kinds of stories you can check out, plus the ones I didn't get to. Here's some headlines, for example. Democrat Stacey Plaskett called Epstein her friend, gave disgraced pedophile exclusive information about her legislative work, according to text messages. So that's in the files. Well, interesting. New York Post. What possible justification do Democrats have for not letting ICE deport a sex offender? You can't make it up. Previously reported, an immigrant named Geraldo Miguel Mora, whose rap sheet includes attempted rape and strangulation, was back in a New York City courtroom last week on a shoplifting charge, which, according to the Post, was his second arrest in the month of January. His first for being a crack possession. That's actually not the unbelievable part of the story. The reason Mora's most recent criminal case made the news is that New York City Judge Sheridan Jack Brown allowed him to waltz right out of the courthouse despite being made aware of the federal criminal warrant for Mora's arrest. The result was that upon realizing Mora had been released, federal agents had to chase him down and take him into custody on the street. That's what's happening. I mean, why? Why would they not? You can read the rest of the story. PJ Media. 18% of Fed-funded home health care is in Los Angeles County. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to guess that Los Angeles County does not have 18% of the population of the United States of America. 18% of all federally funded home health care is in Los Angeles. What? All right. They got to look and find out what the hell's going on there. They're saying that fraud is rampant. Legal insurrection. Court rejects teacher challenge to gender secrecy policy. Transing kids is a part of her job. Oh, my God. What? the federal appeals court has denied a teacher's challenge to the Montgomery Court, Maryland school's gender secrecy policy, rejecting her constitutional claims against the district. The, quote, speech, end quote, she objected to in the school guidelines is part of her official duties as a teacher, she says, and as such, unprotected by the First Amendment. A divided three-judge panel in the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals concluded, as a Christian who believes there are only two God-given sexes, Kimberly Polk refused to comply with school guidelines requiring her to use students' preferred pronouns and refrain from discussing any student's gender identity with their parents. She applied for a religious exemption, which the school district promptly rejected. What? Rather than remain at her substitute teaching job, Polk sued in federal district court, claiming the school violated her free exercise of religion and free speech rights. The court denied those claims last year. On appeal, the Fourth Circuit panel affirmed over vigorous dissent by Judge Harvey Wilkinson, who denounced the policy as a gross assault on the First Amendment and a paradigmatic example of viewpoint discrimination. In her lawsuit, Polk asserted that the school's guidelines forced her to embrace and speak the transgender message of students in violation of her convictions and her rights to free speech. However, the Court of Appeals disagreed. Ugh! That's maddening. You can read the rest. And then, look, when we're done, like as soon as we're done here, click the last link before Ace of Spades. Somnambule Nation posted this dude jamming out, and it's very fun to watch. So I'm going to leave that like that. That's it. Thanks, people, for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. But, you know, I got to go. I got shit to do. Hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. I'm about to drop these links as soon as this thing begins to work. And it's starting to work right now, but it's taking a second. And I don't think I have anything else to say for today. But they'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday because, you know, it's hump day. And that's what I do. So hope to see you tomorrow. My name is PDawgKnight. Here come the links. Right. Bam! There's the links for everything we did, plus a few more. I got to go. See ya. My name is PDawgKnight. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.